Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP Podcast Reviews Edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me is my bestest best friend, Chubax. How are you doing?
Hello. Doing good. Better now that we're here and talking stuff.
Yeah, and if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you very much for the view. The Plus 63 HP Nexus of shows is us, best friends, discussing content, reviewing them, reacting to them, playing them together for your entertainment pleasure. On Mondays and Tuesdays, we drop this show where we review and deep dive into one show of the week and one movie of the week. Sometimes we do two shows of the week, sometimes we do two movies of the week. But in the end, on Mondays and Tuesdays, we deep dive into a particular piece of content. This week, we have the recently dropped on Netflix Korean television show Extraordinary Attorney Woo. It is fun,
Is
but
this our
we'll
first
discuss
one?
that. It
Oh
is our
no,
first. Oh no, we've done
TV.
well
TV.
TV show. Yeah, because we've done the Treasure Island
The,
thing,
the pirates.
the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I have no regrets.
Uh, Yeah. And continuing housekeeping. So Mondays and Tuesdays reviews. On Wednesdays, we drop our very first D&D campaign. Bunch of 40-year-olds playing D&D for the first time, recording it, posting it online for your viewing pleasure. Join our adventure. We are having such a great time. We were never able to do this when we were younger. We couldn't get the books nor the dice, but now we can, so we are. So that is on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we have a curated list of featurettes, short clips, short videos that we react to. So we know what we would want to be hyped about, content coming down the pipe or coming down in the future. If you want to know things or discover things that you might want to watch in the future, you want to have a list of things that you want to watch or experience or play, join our Thursday show, React show. And again, on Friday, because Chubax and RJ are having so much fun with D&D, they spun off their own show. So they have their own second campaign, smaller campaign where they are the bad guys. And those episodes drop every Friday. So Monday through Friday, when you drop in our channel, you have something new to enjoy with us. So please come along, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And you can also interact with us through all of our socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram. The handle is at +63HP. And if you don't want to watch us, you don't want to watch this video on demand, you don't want to see our faces, you just want to listen to us in the background while you're working, while you're doing your chores, cleaning the apartment, taking a walk, open your favorite podcasting app, search +63HP, and we will definitely be there. We prefer Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon, but whatever it is, you should be there. With that, we are discussing this week Extraordinary Attorney Woo. Right? It is a Korean television show with 16 episodes with running times anywhere between 60 to 80 minutes. So that's a pretty low per budget. The good thing about this is like when I was researching at least the stats of this movie, the entire series had 20 billion won as a budget. And I don't know if that's big or not. So like let's see,
Google it.
20 billion.
It's not a lot. I don't think so. Probably
It,
a couple hundred thousand.
right. No, it's $14 million.
Oh,
So, but
pretty
it
high.
is pretty high. It is 16 episodes though. So a little under $1 million per episode, which is, looks good. Like the effects, great acting. And again, it's on Netflix, right? It was originally released in June 29. It's super fun. And as every reviews episode, we want to start a little bit with a non-spoilery initial reaction of Extraordinary Attorney Woo. Note that because this is 16 episodes, me and Chubax were just like, hey, let's watch as many as we can and see, but we'll do a part one, part two. So let's start with that so we can frame our reaction for the series. How many episodes have you seen, Chubax?
9.
Ooh,
I think
we
so,
are
9.
exactly the same.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm around that.
What is your initial reaction to the series? More importantly, for somebody that doesn't watch Korean novella,
Mm-hmm.
why would they watch or why should they watch Extraordinary Attorney Woo on Netflix?
Yeah, so usually with K drama, I get to phases. Like sometimes I'm in the mood, sometimes I'm not. So when this came out, I was initially not in the mood, and I thought it was gonna be one of those. From from the trailers, it was about a lawyer who's in the ASD, the autism spectrum disorder, who has ASD, who's in the spectrum, and I thought it was gonna be really heavy-handed, and heavy and stuff. But then my wife, so I wasn't gonna watch it, and then my wife and my daughter were watching it, and I caught like half an episode, and it's just really light. It's like most of the romantic comedies of not even too much on the romance, but more it's still like typical K drama rom com. So it's very light and it has shades of She-Hulk, where like the case of the week is fun and interesting, and then we see a little bit of their lives. But what I like about K drama rom com is like some of the other series, there's a ball that's gonna drop that's gonna change the status quo, or like really big secret and stuff. But for K dramas, there is that, but it's never that big, or they're like they move on very fast. So they hit you with it. They show some consequence, and then next episode, either they're moving on or they found a way to move on, and we got another one. So
I
there's
found that surprising too. That was pretty cool on my part because I
yeah,
thought they were gonna drag this
yeah,
fucking
there's no
B story.
dragging. There's no like, oh my god, this is it. This is what I've been dreading. But it's fun. It's just be moving on at the fast clip. And yeah, I liked it. I had fun. I was surprised you got 9 episodes immediately, because I know you have a hard time with subs.
Yeah, I think, and exactly. I was surprised myself, but I think my love for She-Hulk
Mm-hmm.
kind of spurred this. And
Good
then
timing.
the first few episodes also helped because it set the tone on how the episode would structure. And then again, this is the case of the week, so that was
Mm-hmm.
fun. I like right now. You know we've been talking about this off pod, but I haven't I haven't really been in. I don't even have the least bit of inkling of watching the new Game of Thrones, House of Dragon stuff, or any series that is super heavy, because I want fantasy to be fantasy. I want to be entertained. I don't want to feel pain when I'm watching these shows. So when I first saw the episode where it was very clearly laid out, maybe not the first, maybe the second episode, where it's like, all right, there's a case, you're gonna try it, and then there's gonna be a creative way of kind of solving this case. Then I was like, all right, I can get along with that. Um, not a lot of characters. Like now, just
Yeah.
most of the time there's just four, plus around another four support,
Support.
right? And that's good. And then again, the B plot or the B and C plots that are the underlying stories that has been kind of like the through line of the series. You're right. It's not. They don't make it kind of like every episode. There's like this is the cliffhanger of it. No, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So it's very cool, and then it is semi-resolved the next issue, the
So
episode.
that's good. The good thing with that is, even though if they drop you a dramatic storyline that you don't like, with the way that it's set, by next episode it's gonna be gone, or it's gonna be we got
And
some moving
they can
on.
come back to it again if they want to, or they don't. So that's the good thing about it. And like you, there's a series on, I think it's on ABC called Good Doctor, where again, savants are both discriminated at, but also utilized because of their extreme talent. And this is one of the other case. I'm usually not a big fan of those. Like it's going to be very hard to be like a lawyer savant. And the good thing is it was tackled in the first episode. All right. Like it was like, yeah, it's going to be difficult for this person. Like we don't care about memorization, but it's going to be difficult to engage in litigation. So, and then they address all of those issues, and it's nice to see different people turn, change their perspective on Attorney Wu. So that was fun too. But yeah, again, the only my only problem is I love watching these series in the background. And I can't because I have to read the subtitles. Usually there are other series where or movies where there's English dub, and usually when we're gonna do something like this, I'd watch the dub version. So I don't have to read it. But this one, like at night, I'll just pop one at night. Uh and yeah, that's I think that's initially it for somebody that is like me. I'm not a big Korean novella Korean TV show fan. Um the reason why people should watch this is it's beautifully shot. I- Effects are great. Acting
You
is
wouldn't think there
delightful.
would be effects on a lawyer show.
Right? Like, even
Mm-hmm.
like the way that she files all of her memories and
Mm-hmm.
yada yada. Yeah, that was great. Or the whale thing is cute, like her fascination for whales. The acting is solid. There's a fascinate. Because I haven't seen a lot. Maybe just so this is like my third or fourth full Korean novella that I'm gonna watch. Um, there's still a lot of the Korean culture that I need to learn. Like here, like they barely when you like each other, you're gonna get married already. Like, you can't even touch each other. Like, there hasn't been a make out session in the 9 episode that I've seen, right? And there was a marriage episode, so that's kind of like the another thing that I think a lot of other people that are not familiar with Korean culture would enjoy or would be fascinated about. Um, yeah, so if you want to learn about a little bit more Korean culture, beautifully shot, amazing sets. They should give it a try. It's super easy. It's like episode per episode. But I understand it is super daunting. Like and at least an hour per episode, and there's 16 of them. So it's a big time commitment. So this is one of those sit down and like just like open your eyes, kind of enjoy the niceties of Extraordinary Tornado. So yeah, with that, I pass it along to Chubax for no, maybe a general
Yeah,
synopsis
just
of
a
what
general.
Extraordinary Tornado is, our favorite bits and baubles, and
Yeah, because
let's rock it.
it's gonna be long. So basically, we got Park Yun Bin as a Woo Young Woo, which she likes to say that is read the same way forward and backwards. And she was born with a ASD, or she's in the autism spectrum. She has autism spectrum disorder, but she becomes the first lawyer with ASD in Korea. So that's she's great at it. Park Hyun Bin, and then we have Kang Tae-oh as Lee Jun-ho, one of the employees in the litigation team at the same firm of as her and the love interest. And my favorite is Kang Ki-young as Jung Myung-sok, the senior attorney who
He's great.
attorney who becomes or works under of. Yeah, I mean he's in the best Korean dramas like Secretary Kim,
Oh,
and yeah, his character is always awesome. Like I don't know, with his face is like the lovable loser, something like that.
yeah, he's super straight laced, and again, he's one of the first ones that were like flipped from being
And it didn't
skeptical
take
about.
long. I mean, as soon as he
Yep,
saw it, like he's not like slow about it. So basically, oh crap, episode. So yeah, in the first part, it's basically first episode basically just see that even though she topped like their board and she graduated top honors, no firm was hiring her, and then suddenly one firm hired her, and of course typical savant type shows. There's a lot of what's this? There's a lot of friction.
skepticism.
Nobody likes her, or like they don't trust her. They don't think she can do it. Uh, and then so she's assigned to Jung Myung Sok, and she's with wait, so many names here. Ha Yun Kyun as Choi Suyon, who's her classmate in college, but now also her colleague. And then we get Jo Jung Hyuk as Minwoo, another colleague at Hanbada, who's kind of the sort of villain for the most for the first
Yeah,
few
he's the
episodes.
foil. He's kind of
The
like
foil,
the
yeah, not really villain, more like the annoying one that is the last to convert. You'd expect. We got a nice like her best friend Jo Hyun Young as Dong Gurami, the where she uh
young
basically
to the cool.
yeah.
Going to the goo to the Rami. Ah, fucking love it.
Her best friend
Super cool.
since
And
they were young.
so freaky enough. It's weird. I was watching this, right? And then I pop into TikTok, and then the
uh
trend of people doing that
oh
was
really?
already there. It's
Is
like
that like
fucking TikTok tracking all of my shit. But yeah, like,
yeah,
who to the young to the
so
cool, don't to the goo to the Rami.
mainly the through line stories are, yeah, how she's adapting to the being a lawyer. She's getting close to one of the paralegal or one of the. Oh, what's the guy's job? I never did they
Yeah,
explain?
a paralegal. Yeah, so
Also,
paralegal is like getting files,
so a
driving, assisting
paralegal.
yeah, assisting, doing, getting the research. Like they're assisting the lawyers to do their job.
So they have kind of this attraction that of course is gonna take a while. Um, and
Very long
then
while.
there's the mystery of her mom, whoever her mom was, because she was raised by her dad, who was supposed to be a lawyer but didn't become a lawyer, raised her
To raise
alone,
her.
and then is now like a owner of her restaurant, I think, right? Like a
Yep.
small
Well,
cafe, and um, yeah. So like we got very cool cases. First case was, what's the first case? A plea bargain for an attempted murder.
mhm. Assault of a
Okay, also this was
um
the her neighbor when she was young.
younger. Yep.
Yeah. So basically a couple, a senior couple where the wife was like had enough of the temper tantrums of the husband and attacked him in a sense, but not to kill, like just one of those had enough type swings. But then he goes down and gets injured and then subsequently dies. And that was the first case, and that was awesome at the end how she solved that. Second episode was the infamous wedding dress that slipped off, where yeah, another
That
typical
lady is so hot.
the wife or
The
the
wife
bride, the
was
bride.
so pretty. Oh my
So
god.
yeah, so this episode was couple that was matched up by their families, and while she was walking down the aisle, she tripped and her dress fell and her chest was exposed, and a tattoo at the back of Buddhism, I think,
Yeah.
which
Which is controversial there
yeah,
because she was supposed to be, she was the favorite of this grandfather that was a very active person in the church.
yeah. So she was supposed to be Catholic, and then so there was a case there where there were the families were suing each other. Um, Next one is, oh, this one was cool. This is Pengso, where he has a case with a autistic autistic brother. Allegedly kills the older brother, the perfect brother. And this was cool because like if you think about it, like everything was logical. What was his name? The leader attorney, uh, attorney Jong, is like, oh, our defendant is autistic, so you handle the autistic because you're autistic, like
You're artistic, you
yeah.
should be good.
But as we know, and it's shown in this episode that the spectrum is very wide, and when it doesn't mean that they're all the same. And the basic, and it's like the obvious thing which they do in the show is like, she asked her dad, "How do you handle me?" So I can handle him. So that was like one of the like, yeah, you don't go to the autistic person to ask how to handle another one. You go to the one that was taking care of the autistic person how to handle one. So that was well done. And it was a touching story also, like with the dad, because like they when they realized that the older son who was had a perfect reputation was depressed and always attempted suicide. They didn't want the parents didn't want that to come out at the cost of the younger autistic son being blamed, or coming out guilty. But in the end, it swung. It did turn around, and they realized that they need to love that son. And then next is the strife with the three brothers. This one was like really pissed me off. They're like the two older brothers, like conniving son of a
And this
assholes.
is the dad of her
The
best
best
friend
friend.
too. So that was another that best friend that's a best friend.
Yeah.
That's a best friend. That is how you show it a best I love how she was created. She the usual, the fun, the gregarious, but again, she was just like there's not even a hint of her disability for anything, and she just there. But and there's a backstory in the next few episodes. But yeah, I just I love Gu Ramen.
So her father was the one that was kind of swindled or defrauded by the older brothers. So this one, they had to be creative in solving this case, where they kind of initiated, like, incited the older brothers to attack them
Yeah.
so that they would win the case. So that was funny. And then we also got the, the B story of Young Woo wanting to resign from the law firm because she thought that, um what was the reason for that? Oh, because that she was a liability, because she was from how they handled the last case with the other defendant that was autistic. She was kind of a liability in that case, so she thought she didn't have what it takes. But then this episode comes with the three brothers, and she realizes that she has a lot to offer, so she comes back, and we get the wild card versus technician episode 5, where this one was a copyright by ATM machines, and they get tricked by their defendant, right? Or the one that they were defending, right? They got maneuvered. They kind of got the guy was like really smart, and they kind of bad faith guy. And then so the through line story here now is we're getting glimpses of one of the best lawyers in the country named Tai Sumi, who's running for Minister of Justice.
This is where it gets interesting.
So next episode is 6, is If I Were a Whale. Um, this is where Young Woo and her colleague Suyeon becomes emotionally invested in defending Gie Yang-sim, a Korean defector, for assault and robbery, or attempted robbery, I think. And this one was funny. It was like, uh, so Attorney Jung calls in Woo and says, go work with Suyeon, because she's very emotional in this case. So temper her. I know, whoa, whoa. And then after Attorney Woo meets her, she's like the one that's more emotionally invested. And then the guy's like, what? Who is this girl? Everybody's. Oh, it's just so funny. And then I like the ending this with the judge. It's like, um she did confess, and it slipped their minds, like, shit, she did confess. And and they were like, veteran. The judge was like, it's also nice when you see the system work, like the prosecution and defense, they're not really antagonistic, they're just trying to figure out the law, how the law applies, and the judge as well, and the judge doing the right decision here. And then, so this episode's end with Soo-young and Young Wo shopping and nearly crosses path with Tai Sumi. Then we go to episodes 7 and 8. I think this is the one that's there's a highway that's supposed to be constructed that's gonna pass through a town, and the townspeople didn't want that highway, so they petitioned to fight the government on destroying their town for that highway. And we get Taisumi, the other lawyer that we've been seeing, that's like
The CEO.
the CEO of the number one law firm, is the opposing counsel.
So here,
And
wait, in this episode, she was the CEO, but he quit being a CEO because he was gonna run for
she
justice, right?
yeah, and so she can be yeah. So she quit being CEO and wants to and started doing the trial, being a trial lawyer again and running for Minister of Justice. So they butt heads here. Uh, and then this is where Minwoo starts becoming more annoying. Uh, I read an article where the actor was like, he's not a bad guy. He's just like being realist and like
Yeah,
I can
I
get that
still
a
hate
little
him.
bit, but come on, man. Like I understand like there's special treatment for Youngwoo, that how she got the job, but doesn't that cancel out
The
while the
the
discrimination of
discrimination she
everybody from
experienced,
all of the
which was
country?
said, yeah,
Which was
which was said by the other lady attorney in their team,
yeah,
right?
so like cut her some slack a little bit, no? At least, and you know that she can work. So like, still I don't know. And then so that continues with 7 and 8. Just a lot of legal maneuvering, but in the end, the tree of the town was the key that it became like a natural monument. So the highway was turned around, and this is where we see that this is where we get the nice the dramatic scene of because Taisumi, impressed by Youngwoo, invites her to join the number one law firm, and she was tempted to get it, right? But
She wanted to
yeah,
leave.
so Youngwoo was gonna get it, but then the father revealed uh that she's her mother,
What a
and that
coincidence. What a coincidence that your mother is this badass lawyer, and then you took become also a savant lawyer, and among all the gajillion companies, you fought against your mom, and then you got drafted with your mom. But it made sense, and it wasn't that far off here. So I was like,
yeah,
I
yeah. No, I mean also no, I mean if you do it in sports, it can happen. So they, like because it's the genes. So I mean, I know it's still the law part is like a little difficult to grasp around. But as you said, it was made well here, so it can get a pass. And the scene was amazing too when she came out to and I love that the script said the part that hurt her was when she said, "You don't even recognize me as your daughter."
Mhm.
It's like you see the lawyer,
Well,
but you
she
don't.
hasn't seen her for. I understand that. Like, if I
I know,
left you as a baby,
but I know, but we're conditioned also in the mind, like in TVs and movies, when you see your child, even though you don't know it's your child, there's
it's a
like a connection
connection.
or something. So it's like you didn't recognize me. So that's when she basically declined joining the job. And then episode 9 is the Pied Piper, where Jungwoo defends an eccentric young man who did basically kidnap those kids. I don't know how you defend that. I mean,
What's the name again? Fart guy.
Bang Gupong.
Yeah. Which translate to fart something.
Yeah, so he changed his name to do that. And then that's about it. This is the episode where we end. And the episode ends with one of Yung also struggles to demonstrate her affection for Junho, and they finally confess their feelings for each other. But she runs away,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's
that's
cute.
episode 9.
It's funny, like, yeah, we didn't plan this, but we both ended at episode 9. I really dug it. But yeah, on my end, on in general, my thoughts and kind of like rating for the show, at least for the first half that we have both seen. Um, it is a it it's a good quality shows like this. Doesn't have to be super deep. It doesn't have to be super
Heavy.
uh heady, but if it's done well and if it's done with respect, it is just nice to just open your eyes because everything just looks clean and beautiful, and particularly because she has OC, so everything is like super neat. So when I'm
But it
watching it,
doesn't look fake. Like some
it
too
doesn't look.
clean look fake.
It's just a very calming TV show, and
Yes.
every episode there's some resolution. There are a little bit of through line, and then the most important factor here is if you watch more than 3 or 4 episodes, you can really see each person's character development, better or worse too. Like, the male attorney team member starts becoming more jealous, but in a very it's not in a villainous way. It's in a very
Mhm.
based in truth way. Right? You can sympathize even with the quote unquote bad guy of the story. You can see how the dad develops, about opening up to his kid anymore. Their romance develops on again, the senior attorney the senior lawyer that they have. That's a great turn from becoming super skeptical to like, yeah, but he was right too. Like, it's my team. I want to make sure my team is good, and then she is. And then when he figure out that attorney who was great, then he like, of course I'm gonna
Fought
keep
for
you in the
her.
team because you're
Yeah.
good, right? And then there's a really clear explanation of it. It's like the creative way. It's not just about the memory, right? I like the fact that they literally told this in the episodes. Like, you know, it's not about being able to memorize every single thing about every single book that they've written. Well, there's people that can do that, but for her, it's her creative ways to using those the data that she remembered for the benefit of their clients was kind of like great. So yeah, and it's even each character, like the cases that they take, they have some small character arcs within that episode that it's just fun to watch. And you don't have to watch it straight. You can do one or two at a time. You have 16, so you have plenty of time. If you have a lot of time to fill, you have plenty of episodes to watch as well. So yeah, how about you, Chubax?
Yeah, I like that. Like that scene where she Jung attorney Jung was protecting her, and the CEO was like, you didn't even want her on the team, but she's in my team now. Like, then I have to protect her. Like, that's so funny. And just my favorite parts are the interactions with the colleague and the senior attorney and the best friend. So I'm not, I don't know. My wife doesn't know if the romantic guy is handsome or not, because usually you have that debate
You know that
in
this
K
is the handsome
drama.
guy. Uh,
So, but yeah, aside
I
from
thought he
that,
was at least from the 3 options. I think he was the most
most
handsome.
handsome. I'm
Yeah,
attorney Jung all the way.
I just love his character. I love he's just straight laced. Yeah.
So yeah, but that's attorney Wu. And
Oh
our
yeah.
rating, I'll go with a nice 8. Strong
Oh,
8
same.
for the first half.
Same.
For the first
Do
half.
it. I'm gonna do a 7. Right. I'm
Okay.
gonna do 7. Very, very good 7. It's a great show. It's just that, bro, these I'm just not used to more than 60 minutes an episode. It's just a
I
long. It's hard. I
I
can't
know.
do 2 a day. So
We're
but
almost
yeah,
finished though. We're almost finished.
all right. We did
That's it.
a quick review for Attorney Wu, Extraordinary Attorney Wu. It's on Netflix. Pop it on. Let us know what you think. Where would you let us know? Hop on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/plus63hp. Drop it in the comments what you think about Extraordinary Attorney Wu. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Our handle is at +63hp. Let's talk about all of the movies and shows that we talked about in the past few weeks. We are happy to discuss. And again, if you don't want to see our faces, you can just go on your podcasting app, search +63hp on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and or Amazon. Subscribe to us there too. Like us there too, and leave a comment. Helps us with the algorithms. Help us grow this community of like-minded individuals enjoying content with their friends and family. But with that, it's me, Jong. We have Chubax. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.